Now, back to The Psychology of Spirit.
It is true, this source does not judge. It is full of unconditional love and sees you that way at all times. So where does all the judgment come from? Am I defined by my past? If we look at our past, we realize that they are part of what creates the mosaic of us. We will not be the people we are in this moment without all the things that have happened to us. Everything, every single thing, good, bad, or indifferent, has brought you to where you are now. Yes, some of those experiences were extremely hard. But yet, without them, you would not be where you are today. So did they take you away from your spirituality? Or did they bring you closer to who you are? Helping you understand that you are, in fact, experiencing life that you at some point in time may have asked for. Oh, but it seems that I'm being punished. No. This source is unconditionally loving. But remember, our ego is not unconditionally loving. Our ego judges. And you must ask yourself, is time truly linear? Ponder that for a moment. Once our past has happened, we can't go back there. It is what it is, and what's done is done. When it comes to the past, it's more acceptance we need to look at than forgiveness or understanding. A lot of times we say, I just don't understand why this happened to me. I don't get it. I didn't do anything to deserve that. Why me? You know, truth be told, we don't have to like what has happened in our lives at times. But we do have to accept that it did happen. A lot of times when we're working through things that have happened in our past, in theories that have been presented before, we're called to go make amends or go seek apologies. The one thing that you have to come to terms with in your life is if you can look at what happened and accept it, do you really need to go further within it? Does it really make a difference if once you don't regret it, that it happened? Going back and re-examining it will never undo it. That part will always still be there. But if you can accept it as a gift, and I know for some experiences that's hard to even examine, but if you can eventually accept it as a gift, even though you would have preferred maybe it happened another way, it brings you closer to who you are. It doesn't take you away. It takes the judgment off yourself, and it allows you to say, you know what, in spite of everything that happened, I really like me. I like me a lot, and not only that, I accept me. And therefore, I am grateful that it happened. No, I may not like it, but I am grateful that it brought me to where I am today, because right now I really do like me. And thanks to this experience, I learned. And if you can see all the things that you now understand and have a bigger view of due to those experiences, you will see the gifts within each and every experience. But I ask again, is time linear? We only have the moment that we're living in. You've heard the expression living in the here and now. And most of us go, okay, what does that mean? What does it mean? It means that you cannot go back and relive your past. And it means that you cannot plan your future. So all you have is the split second that you're in right now. If you really take that theory to heart, it also means that in each split second you're doing your absolute best. And in each split second, you are the most spiritual you can be. You are always enough. And if you break it down to each split second rather than looking at it of the totality of the linear experience, you will see that in each minute you're achieving a goal. You're alive. Being alive should be enough for us. The human experience is such a short experience in existence. It's so minimal compared to our never-ending existence as energy. But yet, we seem to lessen it by staying in the ego's belief of nothing's ever good enough. We seem to keep ourselves from saying, well, that's not enough. Oh, well, I just learned this. Okay, but now I have to learn this. And we seem to make everything such an uphill climb for ourselves, rather than just saying, I just experienced this, I'm so proud of myself. Thank you. I'm grateful for my life. Being able simply to walk, talk, feel, breathe, even for those of us who have bodies that don't quite work properly, they are still a gift. Our life is still a gift. So what is spirituality then? Is it a journey to be taught to us by others? Or is it something we already know within ourselves? I believe it is something we already are. I believe we are spiritual enough, right here, right now. But AuKeeRa, I don't understand my guides. I can't hear anything. I can't see for myself. I don't have my own answers. I do understand when you say that. I do hear you. And the thing is it takes practice. Remember, we're energy beings first. We are always receiving information from the source that we came from. A lot of us subscribe to the belief of guides, myself included. And I believe that your guides are a part of you to aid you to translate your information from energy to whatever language you speak today. But how do I hear them? Bottom line is it takes practice. Imagine if you were raised speaking one language, and now as you get older, you never speak that language again. Eventually, you forget how to speak it. But somewhere within you, you will always understand it. The information we receive from our universe for us is very similar. And that's why journaling is so important. You do have your own answers. And yes, sometimes it's hard to hear them. I do agree. The ego likes to be louder than our spiritual self. The ego always wants to be heard first. And like I was saying before, as you add in positive thought, positive thinking, positive balance, you will create a flow that allows your ego to not be the sole voice that you hear. Once you've done that and working with journaling, and this may seem like a long process, but you've spent years honing your ego. So trust me, it will feel like a short process once you get into it. When you are journaling, only journal 3 pages. Journaling is important to get your ego to quiet down. Remember, your ego makes everything big. So take a small book, not a full-size notebook, but just a small journaling-type book. Coil-bound is usually the best. And throw out any want, need, or desire for perfectionism, because the journal is not a place to be perfect. It's not a point of remembering every instance that happened that day. It's not a diary. It simply should be used as a garbage can for all the stuff that's piling up in your head, so that you can empty it out so you can hear the voice deep within you that is supportive, loving, and does have your answers. It is in each and every one of us. And yes, some people call this increasing your psychic perception, increasing your intuitiveness. Regardless of what you call it, it is still part of you. So as you sit down to journal, you want to write down on your first page. Usually it starts out with, I don't want to write. I don't know what to write. This is really stupid. You can write down whatever you want. Write your grocery list. It doesn't matter. Write down your to-do list. I need to remember to do this. I need to remember to do that. Anything that slows down your thoughts, that allows you to get it out I'm having a hard time with this. This person's treating me that way, and it really upsets me. Write it all down. As you find that you reach the second page, you will find that you begin already to feel calmer. And often by the time you reach the third page in writing, you will hear another tone of your own voice come through. It will seem supportive and loving, and sometimes it will come with answers and solutions, another point of view, a different way to look at things. Because sometimes all we need is someone to say, look this way. And we'll say, oh, I never thought of that. Doesn't mean that the way you were going was wrong. It means there might be just another way to look at it. And as I said, you have that answer in you. As we begin to trust our own voice, as we begin to rely on ourselves for our own answers, we will find a certain sense of empowerment. We will find that we do feel that we are enough. And what's even better is, even though, remember, the ego will always judge, we will be finding that balance where it is enough. I do have enough. I am enough. And then beyond that, we will become aware of the beauty that surrounds us. Our life is simply a perception of what we believe that it is. Spirituality might be fleeting, but it's a constant in us because we are spirit first. What makes our lives what we want it to be is our perception of it. You've all heard of the law of attraction. And a lot of people say then, we'll be right back and discuss the law of attraction.